Morning, sixth graders. Today we're going to talk about covering and surrounding lesson 1.2. So materials that you're going to need for today: grid paper and graph paper. Graph paper will be used for part C. Your grid and graph paper will both be located on the back table. You will need your math notebook. You might possibly need square tiles. That depends on what you and your partner decide, if they are needed or not. And then you will need your 7 o'clock partner today. That's who you're going to be working with throughout today's lesson. So your first definition is fixed area, which is unchanging area. So that means that that's area that is not going to change. Take a moment and pause the video and write this in your math notebook. On the top of the lesson, you can label it CS for covering and surrounding 1.2. All right, so we're going to start with part A here, which starts on page 10 in your book. It says that the rangers in a national park want to build several storm shelters. The shelters must have 24 square meters of rectangular floor space. So remember yesterday when they're talking floor space, they're referring to area. So they want you to experiment with different rectangles that have whole number dimensions. You're going to sketch each of your floor plans on your grid paper, and you're going to record your data in a table like the one below. So the first one here has been done for you. They give you two whole number dimensions, 1 and 24, and they say that's what your rectangle is going to be, a 1 by 24. They're saying the length is 1, your width is 24. Their perimeter they got is 50. Remember, that's because if you have your width is 24, the opposite side of your rectangle, your width is also 24, so 24 plus 24 is going to give you your 48. Then remember, your length is 1. On both sides, you'd have 48 plus 1, which would give you this 50 for your perimeter. Area, remember we talked about the formula, length times width. So your 1 times your 24 is going to give you your 24. Keep in mind, when we do area, we are always squaring our answers. So your task is going to be to create the table above in your notebook. You're going to be adding on to it because you should have 8 floor plans that work, including the one that is given. Make sure you fill it in, and you must sketch the floor plans on grid paper. You may go ahead and pause the video here, and you may start working. All right, on to part B. So it says, suppose the walls are made of flat rectangular panels that are 1 meter wide and have the needed height. They give you 3 questions here, B1, B2, and B3, that they want you to answer with your partner. So take a moment, pause the video, and complete B1 through B3 with your partner. All right, part C. Number 1, it says use your table to make a graph, such as the one below, to compare lengths and perimeters of various rectangles with an area of 24 square meters. So you have your table completely filled in. Now we're just going to graph that data. So over here is the one that they gave you. Keep in mind that your table is much longer because it includes 8 floor plans right now. I'm going to quickly review how we are going to graph that. So you we'll notice that on the bottom here we have length. Over here we have our perimeter. So we are going to start with our length column and your perimeter column. Okay, it's really important that you're using those 2 columns. So it says that my length is 1, my perimeter is 50. So remember, I'm starting here at 0, 0. If this is 4, keep in mind that this middle line here is going to be 2. So if I'm looking for 1, my 1 is going to be right in between the 1 and the 2. So I'm going to go from 1, and then I need to go all the way up here until I find 50. If you notice, there's not a 50 written over here, but you can tell that each of these lines goes up by 2. So if this is 48, this would be my 50, and I'm simply just going to plot my point. You are going to do this for the remainder of your data from your table. Then you are going to move on here to B2. We're going to describe the shape of the graph. How do the patterns that you saw in the table show up in the graph? So you can go ahead here and pause the video after you listen to all the directions, finish the graph for C1, and then answer C2. All right, so you successfully completed lesson 1.2 for covering and surrounding. Groups 1 and 2, your homework for tomorrow is investigation 1. But pages 14 through 78 is where all of those problems will fall. And you need to complete number 26 and number 30. Great job today.